Your hour of drive time begins now with your host, Jay Maymi, on the Jay Maymi Talk Show.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Jay Maymi Talk Show. I mentioned at the beginning of the program that we are taking a deep dive at Mother's Day. It's a Mother's Day special. So we wanted to not only highlight moms and the challenges and the struggles that they go through, but also the accomplishments that many of them have. And our first guest, Dr. Leah, really knocked it out of the park with helping moms understand not only their value, but more importantly, how to take care of themselves. Well, here comes, on the heels of that, here comes our follow-up guest, the author spotlight for this particular Mother's Day special is Anastasia Robinson. She's the brand new author of the book, Who Stole My Dreams? And why I felt that she would be so ideal for today's show is because her book resonates with a lot of people for sure, but specifically from a mom standpoint, a mother standpoint, who herself could have had big dreams early on, and you take on the role of motherhood, and all of a sudden your dreams, your passion, your ambitions get pushed backward and backward into the back seat and then to the garage, and then all of a sudden to the shed. And before you know it, it's somebody else's house. We don't want that to happen to these precious individuals who may have to hit the pause button because they're taking care of the most important people in the world. Her book just came out on Amazon. It is already a big hit, and for good reason too. So I want to help. I want to have Anastasia Robinson share her thoughts on this book, the author of the brand new hit book, Who Stole My Dreams? Anastasia, welcome to the Jay Maymi Talk Show.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it, and I'm very happy to be here today.
Well, you and I have a little bit of history, and I'm so thankful that we do, because we met not too long ago when I moved to Dallas. And you were one of those individuals that I became immediately endeared to, because you not only had a great personality, a lot of energy, but you were everywhere that you needed to be, absorbing information, always absorbing information. And then when you approached me a year ago and said, I got a book in me I want to put out there. And as soon as I heard what it was about, I said, this is going to be a dynamic book. And through the course of the last 6, 7, 8 months, you've buckled down, you've made it happen. And as I knew it would, it's already impacting the lives of so many women out there. And that's why you're on the show. But before we dive into the book and the message behind it, I want our audience to know what inspired you to write that book.
All right. Well, what inspired me truthfully is, the book is titled Who Stole My Dream? And it is a candid guide to making small changes that lead to big results. And for me, what inspired me was I've always had a dream to write a book. And truthfully, it took me over 20 years to get this book done. One of the things that happened is, over the years, you have time that takes everything that takes time over. And especially, women that have children, they're always going to have time constraints. For me, it was, I was working. I always felt there were more important things to do than to write my book. But at the same time, I felt that this was an assignment for me. And really, it was in the past year where I felt like this was the assignment that I needed to finish. This was the goal that I needed to work on. And over the years, even though I always had an excuse for not doing the book, not writing the book, not spending time working on the book, all that time I always felt like this was what I wanted to do. This was a dream I always had. And that's what really inspired me to do it. Also, when I think about it, there were times where I felt, when I wrote the book and I called it Who Stole My Dream, I looked at other people's lives and I felt like someone was writing the book that I should have written. Someone had the life that I should have had. And I felt like someone was stealing the dream that I had, that I wanted, and the life that I wanted. So that was one of the reasons that I titled the book that, But at the same time, that was also part of my inspiration as well for finishing.
Do you feel, looking back now upon the fact that 20 years ago is when you started this, and it's a 20-year journey, and you never gave up on it? Most people would give up on a project like this after 20 months, 2 years. Certainly wouldn't keep that fire burning inside them for 20, right? But you did. Do you feel that the title of the book, Who Stole My Dreams, is something that a lot of people can relate to?
Oh, most definitely. And that's the thing. I mean, because again, when I looked at, truthfully, I always called it that, even when I was saying I wanted to write a motivational book. The book was always titled Who Stole My Dream. Even when I tried to change the title, I still came back to that title
Mm.
over the years. And I think a lot of people will resonate with that because they will probably feel the same way that I felt. There are things that they feel like over the years that they wanted to do that they haven't accomplished. And sometimes, I mean, when you think about it, especially when it comes to motherhood, a
Mm-hmm.
lot of times we have excuses.
Mm.
And in regards to motherhood, some of the excuses that are used tend to be, I need to focus on the children.
Mm-hmm.
Well, but at the same time, your children need to see you accomplishing your dreams because
That's right.
that gives them an opportunity
That's right.
to work on dreams themselves. If they see their parents doing things that they want to do, that gives them inspiration as well. So I think it is important for women in general, and especially mothers, to follow their dreams. But also, don't use children as your excuse for not following your dreams.
Mm-hmm.
I've met people that has always been their excuse, and they still have those dreams in their heart, even after their children are grown. It's like, okay, why are you still saying, why are you
Mm-hmm.
still blaming your children or using children as your excuse when it's time for you to work on some of those dreams that you've had over the past? I think, of course, one of the things that I talk about is excuses people use.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, fear of failure, but fear of success as well. That could be an excuse.
That's
Sometimes
right.
people don't think about the fact that they are scared to succeed. And they ask themselves, well, why would I be afraid to succeed? Well, you're in uncharted territory.
Mm-hmm.
And again, that's fearful. But again, I think as mothers, as you are a model for your child.
Mm.
And I think this is a good way to model is saying, okay, I'm going to press through that fear and continue just working towards the goal.
And it says you said something there that is the mic drop of the segment so far. I mean, there probably might be another one. I don't know with you, there could be two more. But I tell you what, there's inevitably on the show there are so many mic drops, but sometimes beyond mic drops, they're like nuclear bombs, like nuggets of wisdom. And what you said when you mentioned that the best thing that a mom could do is to continue to chase her dreams, or a woman, right, or anybody really, to continue to chase your dreams because your kids are watching. And your kids shouldn't be the reason why you don't do something. Your kids should be the reason why you do something. Because the role, I think you said it clearly, that role modeling that you provide, going after your dreams, not giving up on them, not letting them get away, those kids are watching you and they will emulate what they see in you. So, for their sake alone, and obviously yours, you cannot give up on your dreams. You can't let them get away. I think that's the mic drop of the segment. And I love it. In our final couple of minutes here, Anastasia, what's the central takeaway that you want the reader of your book to experience after reading it?
Well, I think my central takeaway that I would recommend is that you make changes. And sometimes some of those changes, again, they would be small changes. Some of those changes would include your habits. You may need to change the way you do things, the way you manage your time. Small habits, small changes can lead to big results.
Mm-hmm.
And for instance, for example, you may want to consider if you need to exercise. Instead of starting with 30 minutes a day, you may want to start with 5 and
Right.
then increase to 10. And then, as far as time management, what are you doing to manage your time? It may be turning off the TV, something as simple as
Right.
turning off the TV, just so that you can spend time working on your dream, spend time considering why you have that dream, answer the question as to why that dream is something that you want to do, and be truthful about the reason that you want to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And then, I mean, again, sometimes, again, it's just a matter of changing your mind, changing your thoughts. And a lot of times we're just thinking negative.
Could
So,
you share, and I know we're running out on our segment here, but I can't let you go without you sharing a little bit of a story. I know your book has a ton of stories, ton of life lessons, and just a chock full of information that is real deal life living lessons here. But just give us one little bit that the reader could look forward to reading in your book. Just a little story of or an example.
well, I think probably the biggest example is that people, as they read through the book, they start remembering some of the dreams and goals that they've had in the past that they thought were probably dead.
Mm,
And it's not a matter of it being dead, it's just a matter of it being buried and it's
wow.
ready to come back to life.
Wow. Excellent.
So I think that's probably the biggest takeaway that I think people will get from reading my book, Who Stole My Dream.
You know, Anastasia, I could tell you something. I knew that there was another nugget of wisdom in there somewhere, another mic drop, and you just said it. Your dreams aren't dead, they're just buried. Buried can always be resuscitated, right? You just got to go dig it up and put it back to work again and activate it and implement it, right? It's not dead. I love that. That's a great place to end the segment here. The name of the book is called Who Stole My Dream? Anastasia Robinson. You can find it on Amazon. We appreciate you being on the show. We're going to have your book up on our website so people can track you down that way. And we're looking forward to you writing your next book and releasing it sometime next year.
Thank you so much, and thanks for that encouraging word for us looking for the next book. I'm excited.
Well, that's what the show is about. It's about thriving. And folks, we've just wrapped up a Mother's Day special, and I couldn't think of a better way to wrap that up with an encouraging word to never let go of your dreams. Your dreams aren't dead, they're just buried. Folks, that's why you keep coming back to the Jay Maymi Talk Show for quality content like this. Until next week, keep thriving.